reveal to us what your plans are for your AHL team. Oh yeah, because you remember, round about the time of the Calder Cup playoffs, the Calgary players announced that Stockton Heat would be at the end of the regular season. At the end of the season, would be relocating Stockton to Calgary in a move both shocking and not really surprising in a sort of way. Right. We did a chill report bit on it when the news broke, but of course back then we didn't know anything. We didn't know a team name, we didn't know colours, we didn't know a logo. But I wanted to have my thoughts on that, so you can go back and watch that. We'll maybe put it in the episode description just to go cross over it. And as I said, we would do more when we get more news. We would do more in detail one, and we bring up Harvey. Give all wave, Harvey. Well, we now have got the news. We now know who the new Calgary AHL team will be. We now have a logo. I have to say, Harvey, I'm a little bit disappointed with you. Yeah, it's very plain, it's very dull, it's very boring, and maybe it's just a little bit too predictable. Okay, so the new Calgary AHL team will be known as the Calgary Wranglers. What name is that, Harvey? What sort of name is that? Wranglers. That is, I'll just spell it for you. Wranglers. It sounds like strangler. Oh, it does. Harvey, it sounds like, literally, it sounds like a strangler. Like that. Yeah, like that. Like that, yeah. You can't have strangling in hockey. Oh, dearie dear. Yeah, so... Now, there is history behind the name Wranglers, which I'm just going to look up. So you bear with me just 1 second while I just go and get that information up for me. Also for you guys, let me bring it up. Okay, got it. Right, okay. So, the Wranglers become the second team to don the name in Calgary, following the Calgary Wranglers of the Western Canadian Junior Hockey League, the WCHL, who came to Calgary in 1977, and they played in Calgary for 10 seasons, graduating from such players alumni as Kelly Kisto, Donna Morrison, and Mike Berlin to the National Hockey League. Okay. The return of the Wranglers this time, as the Blaze Tottenham benefit, brings a fresh new look to the original Wranglers logo that had a significant era in Calgary hockey history. Okay, well, if we go and you look at the logo, all it really is just a W with a flame. That's all it is. That is all it is, Harvey. Okay, that's all. That really is all it is to it. It's just a W with a flame in the middle of it. Now, I do love the colour schemes. Everything, I do really love that. But at the same time, I'm just looking at it and thinking, well, it's just a bit too bland. It just looks too bland. It just doesn't look good at all. It just really isn't. It's dull and boring. It's like oh god. I'm thinking, was this really worth Harvey making us wait for God knows how long it was? Because we had to have the schedule out before you even told us who you were. Was it really worth the wait? No, it was not. It was not worth the wait. Not one bit. Not one bit was it worth the wait, Harvey. Just was not worth the wait. Yeah, it does though hark back to if we go for the Wranglers AHL history, it does hark back to when the franchise had just that one season in Adirondack when they were the Adirondack Flames, and it's basically it's that logo is the Adirondack logo. It said this time instead of being an A, it's a W, and the flame isn't so bulgy and big and bulky. Okay. So the Adirondack, they only really had one season in Adirondack, right before the move to Stockton, and that's because playing in Abbotsford didn't go down quite well. For you, Harvey, preferred it working a treat. Yeah, but I just think, you've missed an opportunity. You could have done something so epic. You could have done something so. This was your chance to give it a fresh new look. And what have you gone for? No, you've gone for something dull, something boring. You know, I mean, aye. I mean, I just can't get behind that name. Wranglers. I just can't get on board for the name here. It just sounds too aggressive. It just sounds far too aggressive, that hobby. It just really does sound too aggressive. It does, to me, sounds like Stranglers. Look, see? Strangling Harvey. That's what it sounds like, hobbies, but it just sounds too similar to strangling or strangler. You know, it just it just sounds too aggressive, too violent. Although again, aggressive bind is your style, isn't it, Harvey? I was not expecting him to agree. I was not expecting you to agree, Harvey. But it's very good. I do love it when people can admit to their flaws. So well done, good boy. That's a good step. But no, it's just I can't get behind a name. Also, I can't get behind the whole plan of where the team's gonna play. Because obviously, while the move from Stockton to Calgary is not really surprising, it's not like it's a trophy, how Stockton had built up quite a good fan base and everything. I think we should have seen this coming. We should have seen this potential move coming a while back. Even going into the 2021 season, when at the very last minute, Calgary decided, well, do you know what? We're going to move Stockton closer to us because of the COVID situation and everything. Now, that worked for one season, but as a permanent thing, given how the many tenants there are at the Scotiabank Stadium, this does not look profitable. In fact, if we go through the current tenants of the Scotiabank Stadium, we have, of course, the Calgary Flames, who've been there since 1983. We currently have also the Calgary Hitmen of the Western Hockey League, the WHL, who've been there since 1995. And we also have the Calgary Roughnecks, who compete in the National Lacrosse League, the NLL, and they've been in there since 2001. And now we're adding obviously the Calgary Wranglers, who will be in the American Hockey League, AHL, from next year. 4 teams. You do the math. It's not ideal, isn't it? Also, why do you like such aggressive names, Harvey, for your teams? Flames, Hitmen, Roughnecks, now Wranglers. Are you the black sheep of Canada, Harvey? Are you the black sheep? Is Calgary a rough place to go and visit? You've got all these very, very violent names for all your sports teams. I don't agree with that, Harvey, one bit. It's too aggressive, Harvey. I think you might have some anger issues, mate. Do I admit to that on the camera? No, you don't admit. You don't admit to that on the camera. Not surprising, but I just don't see how this is going to work. long term. It is already 3 tenant. Because I mean, really, only one area has managed to successfully house both an AHL team and the AHL team, and that is, of course, is the Manitoba Moose, who of course share the arena with the Winnipeg Jets. Obviously, we in the as they have done it for the last 7 years, but obviously it was never really profitable or ideal given the design of SAP Centre and how really with AHL games you only get roughly 4,000 maximum. It's never really doable, and of course, obviously, now the Barracuda now have their own home to call their own, which is going to be a much more facility designed for AHL hockey, and it's going to be so much great and better for the club and for the city as a whole. And we're already reaping the rewards of that. Because obviously we've got awarded the AHL Classic for 2024, despite when it wasn't completely finished yet, and of course we're also hosting the rookie tournament coming up in September. Although you don't need to worry about Harvey, you don't play in it. But what I'm trying to make is, Harvey, I think for now, now, you might be able to get away with it. But if this is now going to be your permanent AHL team, you don't think you can relocate ever again? Because I think with AHL teams, whenever they play in the same area, in the same city, as the AHL club, I always think, well, that's it. They're not going to we don't worry about relocation ever again. So this is now going to be the Calgary Wranglers are now going to become a permanent fixture. You're going to need to think, Harvey, long term. You are at some point, probably not now, maybe not in the next 5 years, maybe say in the next maybe 10 years. You're going to need to start thinking long term, because playing in an AHL arena for an AHL team, it's not really ideal, because AHL built arenas are not built for 4,000 spectators. They're built for massive events, major league tournaments, concerts, and any other events you could think of. They're not built for small events like AHL hockey. It works for a bit, but eventually you have to then go, okay, well, enough's enough. We need to start thinking long term for the long term future of the club, and go, right, we need a proper arena ourselves. So I think, Hobby, that's what you are going to need to think of long term. Obviously, the Wranglers will I got tongue tied there for a moment, Hobby. I'll start again. Even though for now, and we know that definite this season, the Wranglers will be in the Saddledome, and it will work for now, but at some point, you are going to need to have that grown-up conversation of, okay, is this really working? No. Well, then we need to start thinking long-term, because we've moved the team to Calgary. That is a sign to say we're committed to the team being in Calgary. The question is, how's it going to work? If that means the old your little new arena plan, which was put dead in the water back at Christmas, you might need to bring that up, Harvey. Or do what we've done, which is you build a new arena downtown near the area downtown, suitable for these AHL hockey, suitable for little small venue events, and that will work, because then you'll have the AHL clubs done where they are, but your AHL club will also be literally next door, and it could bring you benefits to Calgary that you never thought possible. Like for us, for us in Saturday, the Barracuda haven't even moved the arena. I think at the time of recording this episode, this show, is still getting fine-tuned. It's still being finished off, and already we've been awarded this rookie tournament between a couple of our Western Conference rivals. We've got the AHL Classic 2024 awarded to us. We're already reaping the benefit, and the arena hasn't yet opened yet. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when it does open in September? It's going to be great. And I think that might be the route that you're going to need to go down in, say, a couple of years' time. Probably not now, because you're still in the process of because you're still in the midst of the relocation process. You still fit process. There's still a long way to go because obviously you've given us the name and logo. That's the first big step. Next big step is the jerseys. Now I'm hoping, Harvey, that you, and I'm glad that Sharky's not here because in the room because he hates me. He hates me praising other teams' jerseys. He really he does not like it. He gets really upset if I think another team's jersey looks really good and I praise it. He really does not. He gets really upset. So I'm quite glad he's downstairs with Frenzy and not up here. Because he would go mad if he was in the room and he heard what I was about to say. He literally would run over and give it the balls. He would not like it. Your current home and away jerseys, I think, are absolutely gorgeous. Now, and if I was a Calgary Flames fan, I would buy the complete set. So hopefully you can do something like that for the Wranglers, and that might help me like it just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Because, Harvey, we are going to be division opponents. Although we're not going to see each other as much as some of my other Pacific Division rivals. In fact, Harvey, I've got my schedule up here for you. So, we're going to come to Calgary twice, and you're going to come to Texas Arena twice, okay? And I think we come to you first. In fact, yes we do. Oh, the week of my birthday. Oh, that's lovely. So our first visit to the Calgary Wranglers will be on November the 6th. And then 2 days later, my 26th birthday, November the 8th, will be our second and final visit of the season. Then, Harvey, you'll then come to us for just 2 games in February. Yep, here we are. So on February, in a back-to-back. So on February the 10th, you'll come to Texas Arena for your first ever visit to Texas Arena. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be gorgeous. And then on February 11th, you play your second and final game at Texas Arena. So you've already got 2 meetings with me at the Saddledome, and you've already got 2 meetings with us at Texas Arena. Because remember, Harvey, it's geography. It's not like the olden days when Stockton and Barracuda would go head to head like so many times a year. Geography obviously is key. In fact, and have we got your schedule to look at? If we can maybe bring that up, just to give you an idea of who you might be seeing often. Because remember, one of the beauties of the AHL is they focus a lot on geography rather than rivalry, and by that it means you're able to only have to travel certain amount of distances. I think the furthest we travelled is probably either Iowa or Texas this season coming up. It's it's not going to be pretty Harvey. In fact, Iowa we haven't seen since pre-COVID. So, yeah. Let me try, because obviously it's scheduled now before we had the Wrangler name. Let me type in, see if that will works instead. You've not got a website yet either. That's not helpful, Harvey. Yeah, maybe not. I'm not gonna get anything. Right, so let's go to the HL and we can do it like that way. Back when they had that massive. Right, here we go. Here we go, RB. Right. Here you are. So let's take a look at your schedule, shall we? So you can see you've got a couple of Canadians here. So as well as seeing our division teams, you're also going to be having matchups with Manitoba. And I think, Harvey, that might be the only team outside of the division you're going to see next year. Yeah. Yes, Harvey. So you're only going to see two. Harvey. So yeah. So you're going to have a schedule, Harvey, similar to what I've had over the last 2 seasons because of the COVID situation, where you're only going to get to see one of the team outside your division for next season. So that'll be for you, be Manitoba. So Abbotsford and Manitoba, they'll be the 2 Canadian teams you see, but of course Abbotsford is the only one inside the division. Okay. Give it time. And when people are properly satisfied that they can live with COVID, give it time, you'll see a few more, okay? Because Abbotsford, they see a fair few. I think last year I think this season they got to see outside the division. I think they got Marlies, Larble. I think they might have also got a few with Manitoba, the Rocket. I think they all might have got a few with the Moose as well, Manitoba as well. So I think they got a fair few, but I think because they're easy to travel more than you probably are. But give it time. You'll see more people probably. Yeah. So baby steps are being taken towards this new era for Calgary Flames AHL hockey. Having the team closer to home, it's going to be obviously easier. It will be 10 times easier, and this time it'll be more manageable because obviously last time Stockton just wasn't able to compete against those Canadian teams because they're not used to seeing those Canadian teams. This time that'll be more easier because your team will be seeing teams you should be used to be seeing. And who knows, you might be able to be competitive from the off-go. I mean, the last few relocation franchises we've had in the Pacific, they've done quite well. I mean, Henderson got top seed in that 2021 season, went all the way to the Pacific Division playoff final, so to lose to Bakersfield. Last year, Abbotsford did very well. I think they got, was it fourth, was it fifth they got? Can we find those? Or has it been reset for next season? No, it's already been reset for next season. Hang on, let's see if we can find it. We go here. What's this here? Yes, there we go. We can find it. Right, there we go. Let's cross-check. We don't want to make Finn angry, do we? No, let's not make Finn angry. Let's not have an angry Finn. So, Abbotsford, we've got... Oh, no. Division... Hold on, why is it showing me? Oh. Hang on. Right, bear with. Right, go. 5th. Abbotsford got 5th in their opening season. They played Bakersfield in the first round matchup to get into the Coral Cup and lost that in sweep. But no, so you might be competitive, Harvey. Who knows? But we'll see. We shall see. So just to finish off, Harvey, I'll tell the viewers your first official game and first official home game of the Calgary Wranglers. So the first ever game for the Calgary Wranglers will be against the Coachella Valley. That's also going to be your first home game, Harvey. Hey! That's a back-to-back as well. So your first 2 home games and first 2 of the home games against the newbies, Coachella Valley. So yeah. Okay, so October the 16th and October the 17th at the Salzburg against the newbies, the Coachella Valley Firebirds. Okay, so overall, I think you can move a little bit better with your plan with better. You could have maybe done a little bit better. Could have made it a bit more exciting. Who knows? I mean, when we get to see the product on the ice come October, who knows, Harvey? We might think, oh, actually, okay, now I can actually properly see it. Now I can properly see what it looks like. Maybe, might be a little bit better, but we'll see. Thank God though it's all sorted. Don't know what the hold-up was that made you couldn't do it. Now is it before schedule release day? I don't think I want to know what the hold-up was, but at least it's now all done and dusted. Okay, good. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you've loved the show, do click the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, check and maybe click the subscribe button. That way you never miss a single moment when you contact, including various to report bits. You haven't and don't forget you can listen and subscribe to the Report podcast wherever you get your podcast. If you don't know where to find us, go and visit our webpage on Anchor.fm to find out what we did. The address is anchor.fm/Report. Also, if you'd like to get in touch with us, if you got questions or thoughts about the season, or if you've got any suggestions for a future edition of Report Bids, send that in. We could consider it and might make it into an actual episode. So there's no, so yeah. So if you want to get in touch with the podcast, it's treportpodcast@gmail.com. That's treportpodcast@gmail.com, and we do always keep an eye on our inbox. So if you were upset at anything, do, and we'll see if we can get back in touch. Well, until next time, it's goodbye from Harvey. Harvey's off to go and I don't know, maybe get the Wranglers fitted out in their kits. Off you go. And from me, until next time, all's less said, and sorry.